Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where I am on my way back to Dirthang, where I need to find a couple of pages, but I'm on the road that heads between Dirthang and Mornauer, and it appears that there is this little white item up here, which may be one of the last 3 pages that I need. Yes, that looks like the case.
In the valley of Udun, Sauron ordered great pits delved and forges and furnaces made.
Well, that wasn't exactly a very impressive story. Actually, which way do I go now? Do I go up or down? That's dirt thing up there, right? This looks like the right way then. Now, I've heard that one of the 2 pages I'm looking for is way at the top, at the tower. So I got a pretty good idea where that one is, but I have no idea where the other one is located. But I'm going to assume for the moment that it is going to be along the way on the stairs as I head over towards the page whose location I do know, since I have to go in this direction in any case. Unfortunately, there are quite a number of enemies along the way that I'm going to have to contend with. So it's going to be going up the stairs, fighting foes, bashing them on the head with the staff, watching my raven do most of the work. I think I found the page. Okay, so that one wasn't too difficult to find, as long as I was heading up towards the tower in any case.
By cunning, force, and treachery did Ugruchor, the captain of the pit, seize Duathand and Udun. The tower he made his own and renamed to Duathang, the Dark Oppression.
Alright. I suppose that's an appropriate one to have inside this place. The renaming of the Dark Oppression. Ooh. Let's see. We got nothing there. If I'm lucky, I'll also find the last few baubles here. But the baubles I don't consider to be all that important. So if I don't get the last few baubles, look, I'm level 110, so trying to gain that last little quest there is, just overkill in any case. I just happen to have the quest in the log, and I'm trying to get it out of the log. So, nothing more on that matter. And as for these apprentices, do they count in the... No, I need to get one more sorcerer, so I'm probably going to run to one more sorcerer along the way also, as well as a number. Speaking of sorcerers, so that takes care of the sorcerer quest. Done. Ooh, rep. That is rep, right? Completed quest of Udun. Oh. Alright, I guess we could really call ourselves done with Udun then, if we've completed that deed. I don't think was even intending to complete that. Let's see, so... Oops. Let's take care of you also. But my main goal now is to get to the top of the tower, because I believe the last page is there. I think this is the top? Probably, yeah. A little portal to the outside. Dirthang Tower. Oh, yeah, there is the page right there. There is Drearstar right there. And here we are with... And we give you that. Alright, we defeated Drearstar. Is this a rare Mordor chest? What? It's rare that there's anything in here? You have found a rare treasure chest. Expeditionary supply gloves. It is identical, except in... Oh, it has the same name. Okay, I must have gotten my other gloves from a rare mortar chest also.
The captain strengthened the fortifications of Udun, restored the old, and built a new. Anglach arose, and Mornauer towered under his command.
Well then, let's get out of here. Hello there. I found these pages scattered all over Udun. Ah yes, I do know of these pages, for I'm the author. One of the captain's spies made off with the journal when we first arrived, and I was only able to recover the binding. The pages were nowhere to be found. It's truly miraculous that you were able to find them all. Here, allow me to rebind the tome for you. You may keep it for your efforts, and as a warning, we must never again allow evil to regain a footing here, lest it will fester and grow. Okay, so I get a copy of the book, The Lost Lore Udun. Lost Lore Udun, which is the housing item. A well-preserved relic of the last alliance for allegiances. And speaking of allegiances, actually, Lost Lore. Oh yeah, well, I'm not completing them all. Like, for example, this one that's supposed to be done in the Court of Saragost, forget it. And Narbonne Prison, double forget it. The Abyss of Mordath, triple forget it. So, yeah. I have finally made it to the Isenmouth. Well, I've been here earlier in order to check it out during the epic, but I am finally in a position. The Isenmouth is guarded, but when has that ever proved a hindrance to you? I don't see it as being guarded. Maybe I killed the guards already. Oh well. Anyway, whether they're there or not, yes, a couple of guards has never proven a hindrance to me. So, I believe I am supposed to be finding our campsite. I think that's our campsite up there. Well, that's certainly not our campsite. So let us climb up here and see if this is the case. Yes, this looks like a campsite. Actually, what is this? This looks like our... Oh, Master of Mordor, Gorgoroth. Alright, those are the rewards vendors. Here's the main campsite. Hello! The ruins of Dingarth. Welcome to Dingarth. I suppose that means I need to... yeah, I don't think I need to go to Udun anywhere, and if not, I could always take a stable master, right? I presume there's a stable master. I mean, there has to be a stable master here. This is a major hub. Thank you. Well, medium hub at least. Hello there.
Welcome to the Doomfold of Dor Armath.
But even as I bid you this greeting, the words rebel upon my lips. Welcome? Who could be welcome to this place? It is the way of my people to survive in the wilderness, hunting game and foraging for food, even when the land seems barren. Those skills should be well tested in this place. Luckily, it shouldn't be necessary. I have brought supplies enough to last me, and, in any event, I would not trust anything that could grow here. Was this valley once fertile? I can't imagine it, but mortal eyes are oft quick to judge, given how little we see of the great span of time. Before Sauron came, was this land green and growing? Well, we sort of get a little bit of a glimpse into that in the times back. I said, what is it, during the flashback scene, or the, what do you want to call it, when you're with the White Company, or during the Days of the Last Alliance, that little bit in here. We are in this exact region, and we could see what it looked like 3,000 years ago. Rugus dismisses the thought with a shrug. Mayhap I'll consider further when we can safely do it elsewhere. For now, this land is dead and full of enemies, and we should ask pointed questions with dagger and blade, and set aside any questions that do not fell our foes. Well, I'll use fire, lightning, and a sharp whack with the staff, but I got that idea. But my companion here is good at pecking. Alright, so what should we do there? Defeat enemies and Dor Ammath. Okay, I suppose I could do that. Find enemies around here. Worms. I think worms very definitely fall under the category of enemies, right? I mean, I have rarely met worms that were not enemies in some way or another. I'm trying to think if there's ever a time where a worm is not treated as an enemy. Because I can't think of, the closest thing I can think of will be the Avank that Rook is trying to ride. But seeing how that Avank is dead, it's hardly able to qualify as friendly either. And who knows, considering that Rook eventually attacks us anyway. Okay, Drakes. I think Drakes have an even higher record of going after us. And I'm pretty sure that there are no cases where we are on friendly terms with the Drake. So yes, very definitely. Now, while I am pretty sure that the Suluk qualifies for this quest, especially considering that it shows it if I hover over it, let's go to more obvious enemies. Bats, well, bats are not as consistently enemies as some of these others, but they definitely have a track record of being enemies. And of course, Kundalar, well, we've had some friendly dealings with Kundalar, or at least semi-friendly. I mean, there was... Okay. Eorzan, for example. Well, Eorzan is more of a frenemy than a friend, but you get the idea. It's the closest thing we've got. Interesting. The Suluk, when looked at the back, because of the way you have the hump on the front half of the back there, it looks almost, reminds me of a Triceratops of all things. I know it. On the side, on the profile, it of course makes it obvious it looks absolutely nothing like a Triceratops. But when I look at it from behind, it sort of reminded me of one. Not that I'm likely to run into a Triceratops here. How if we finish off our let's kill 10 mobs, or 12 mobs in the area with going against this Fire Grim. There you go. There! Defeated enemies in Dor Ammath. Now, let's get back to camp. I've thinned down the local population a bit.
Can it be that this land was once much like any other?
I have faced many foes here myself, but still my mind worries at the subject about which we spoke, Pinelor. Can it be that this land was much the same as any other, but the coming of Sauron laid waste to it. There are countless reasons to rejoice that he is gone, but even for one among many, it must approach the top of the list. If he could do this to Mordor, could he not have worked such a change upon Gondor, or upon Rohan, or upon Eriador? I deem that he could. Perhaps I contend that the transformation of Dora Marth to this blasted plain was not accidental. I believe he did it purposely, with malicious intent. If not for some scheme, then merely for the hateful joy of it. I spoke up to this with Covadil, who dared the passage of the... She did! Yes. I think it was she who first planted these thoughts in my mind. That sounds like something from Covadil. And now I can't stop thinking about them. She intended to travel northeast to Lughash. I warned her to be careful, but she found that mirthful and laughed at my warning. Yes, she does like to get laughs at warnings. She's a scholar and a bit odd, but I do hope that she is being careful all the same. Perhaps you could find her and see how she fares. Covadil. Interesting. Anything else I could grab over here while I'm looking? Let's see.
Come then.
The whole thing with the captive. No. I don't feel like getting into a big... Speaking of big, intricate subplots, yeah, how about if we just stick to the epic right now? We're level 110, and I suspect that I'm in no great need of getting new levels at the moment, right? Because right now the epic is at 108. Yeah. This looks like the type of place that will attract Covadil. Let's see if she's anywhere around here. Yep, she is. I found her standing up at the staring at the spire of Lughash. Hello there. Anything interesting here?
Will you look at that? That is the spire of Lughash.
A fortress was built there upon the lowest slopes of Ered Lithwi when Gondor established its watch upon Mordor. It was called the Peacehold of Sithos, and nothing moved on Ora Druin without alerting the attention of its defenders. But the vigilance of Gondor failed in time, and it was abandoned. The orcs burrowed beneath its foundations, and the earth shook, and Sithos crumbled into ruin. The spire of Lughash arose in its place. That is it right there. If it weren't for the scholarly pursuit of knowledge, you would think that we was merely an evil tower. But now you know some of its history. Isn't that fascinating? But there was once a Gondorian fortress there, and I wonder if there might still be some signs of it. You should do what we scholars of the House of Lore often do when we want to unearth lost knowledge. What, do it literally? Yes, we dig about in the debris. You never know what you might find, so we're not literally unearthing it. We are unraveling it or something. Okay, maybe unearth will do, especially if I actually have to dig in the dirt. Search the old ash pile. Okay, that's close enough. And patch around the spire and see if you can find some remnant of Gondorian presence here. For knowledge and for knowing. Okay. I suppose we could do that. Who knows? Maybe I'll find a Lost Lore page while I'm at it. There we go. Look at that. Lughash, the Flaming Spire. Oh, the first of the old ash piles. Okay. What about here? Anything in these old ash piles? Nope. That's just a regular, yes, just a, I didn't mean to do that. So let's go around and let's find any ash piles that we could find. We don't have to worry about that. Is that a salamander? That is a wormling. Okay. Oh, a Gorgoroth wormling. Well, I guess we're not going around. We will, though, go after the adult worms. Fair enough. Now let's continue up on here. Now that's a now. I do wonder why they chose the term salamander for these things. I mean, I cannot imagine any sort of amphibian surviving this area. So obviously it doesn't qualify as a salamander in the real world. It must be some sort of weird crocodiliform or something like that, I guess. I don't even want to think about it. Alright. How about this? Or maybe something off the lizard. I am not going to do an anatomical study sufficient in order to determine exactly which branch of the animal kingdom those things belong. At least not while I'm in the middle of Mordor. At least with the bats, I know that they're mammals. So I can easily put them within an order. Oh. I almost missed this ash pile. Thank you, Bat, for telling me where it was. Alright. And as for the devoted warriors, I very definitely know which branch they are of. Primate. Like Númenórean Slayer of Dora Marth. Okay, and, well, drakes, I have as much trouble with them. I know dragonkind. How do you classify dragonkind? I mean, I was a bit surprised when in Umbar they decided to put crocodiles with the dragonkind. So I'm wondering, okay, that's why I was thinking maybe a crocodiliform or something. Something related to them? Alright. Well, who knows? Uh-oh. I think I hit! A levity 1 and well preserved. There we go. Well, I finished searching the ash. Now, back to Coteville as soon as I take care of this devoted warrior who seems to be devoted at chopping my head off. I wonder if Coteville realizes that there's this worm. Actually, drake. That there's a drake that was sizing her up, waiting for a moment of weakness. Well, we'll deal with the drake. She probably wasn't even aware it was there. Probably was too busy studying the fortress. Hello, I found this.
Digging in the debris is never a waste, not for a scholar of history.
This broken piece of metal is unremarkable, save for this marking right here. Do you see it? That is half of the sigil of Gondor. Well, nay, not even half. It may be more of a small portion of a small portion, but even a portion's portion is a delight to one who thirsts for knowledge. This tiny remnant of history has emerged from the ash, a reminder to us of Gondor's resilience. My master will surely find value in this discovery, even if I was not supposed to adventure here. The House of Lore will benefit from this, I don't doubt it. This is much more interesting than anything that I might have found in Osgiliath, so close to Minas Tirith. This is a land of danger, an unknown land, and the rewards are greater than match.
Hold on. Do you hear that?
There are people approaching from down the road, and they sound as they are in a tremendous hurry. Okay. Well, let's go and find out what the hurry is. I mean, are you sure she wasn't just hearing the goat or something? Well, let's not worry about the goat and see who it is that's down the road. Let's crest this hill first, because right now it's hard for me to see if there's anyone actually there. I mean, she could be hearing things, but who knows? Nope. If there's someone down there, she's got very, very good ears, which, the way she doesn't seem to be paying attention sometimes, made me wonder if she could hear at all. Well, maybe she could hear, but just likes to ignore things that she doesn't want to bother with. Anyway, I presume this is whom she was hearing. Hello there.
There is something terrible about the wreckage of Sauron's tower.
There's something terrible about the ruins of Barad-dûr. Enormous pieces of it fell to the ground when the Dark Lord was destroyed, and the land all around has an unpleasant air. Okay, I'll agree with that last bit for sure, but I never thought that I could work such a change on my very fellows. Rogreen was just as he always was on the journey out, but when we approached the terrible pit, the great abyss, that abyss was the site of Barad-dûr. When still it stood, something about it infused Rogreen with a type of madness, and he attacked us, we, his faithful friends, as if years of service and kinship meant nothing. Bah! Okay, well, that's weird. Rogreen. Well, he's probably looking for treasure, but, well, I don't see any reason why he would be attacking them.
To go this way, friend.
Ours was a small company of soldiers aiming to plunder the ruins of Barad-dûr for treasure, and each man was to have a share of the loot. But one of our number turned on us, he did, and thought to slay us. I don't know why he attacked us, wanted our share of the treasure most like, but I can't see as to why Rogreen would strike out at his fellows like that. Never known him to be a turncoat. Well, not until today. I think it's a sickness of this land, if you ask me. But, who knows? What do you say about this, Calvadil?
I spoke with Rogreen at the Black Gate. He seemed like a nice enough sort.
Rogreen didn't seem the type to attack his friends for treasure or for no. I think that Farak is right. The abyss where Barad-dûr once stood is still surrounded by corruption, and it drove Rogreen to madness. You have to find him before he harms any others, or himself, but don't kill him. Remember the lesson of the metal scrap of the ash pile. Even good things, once buried, can be unearthed again. Find Rogreen in the abyss, and knock some sense back into him, but don't kill him, for that is not easily undone. All right, fine. I'll maybe I could put some rubber around the staff or something. Those are the ruins of Barad-dûr. So obviously we are close to wherever Rogreen is likely to be. At least I'll know how to recognize him, since I have seen him and spoken with him in the past. But I suspect there will be all sorts of dangers in the area, such as, well, bats. Rabid bats. I just wonder, what is there plenty of around here in order to make a reasonable breeding grounds for rabies? I know this is Mordor. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. The disease will be around anyway. That's Mordor. Mordor is senselessly desolate. I think that is the theme of Mordor. I mean, you could have plenty of desolate lands and all the like, but this one is completely and utterly, senselessly desolate. I think he's going to be down. Oh, no wonder he's stuck down here. I mean, with all these drakes, maybe they're attracted by the corruption here. Ugh. Actually, that's a probability now that I think of it. Ah, there he is. Rogreen stands on the road to the great abyss, unaware of your presence. Ugh.
Stay back! I'll kill you!
You won't get me! Invisible foes flirting all around us! You can't see them, but they can see you. They're all around. Stay back! I'll kill you. Here. Okay. Let's see. I better not send out a whole bunch of birds so I could control this better. Ah, okay. Did I knock some sense into you? Rogren shakes his head.
What am I doing here?
In point of fact, what am I doing here? I last remember standing on the road somewhere near Hlungash, but that's many miles away, is it not? I remember. My friends! I think I attacked them. I didn't mean to do it, but there was such an overwhelming feeling of I don't know how to describe it. My will gate was overmastered. Did I think that I had enough strength for Gondor? I was driven to madness like a common orc, and set upon my fellows. I'm ashamed, Pine Lore. I didn't understand the potency of Sauron's evil. Even after his fall, the lands that he's touched remain marred by the memory of him. I must find my fellows and apologize. I hope that they'll understand that I was not myself. I have to leave this place. I'm not equal to it. Well, at least he figured it out before things got worse. Fortunately, I was able to knock some sense into him.
You saved Rogreen from himself? I am so glad.
Sauron instructed his servants to build him a kingly castle, a stronghold on a hill that was called Amandur. Over the long passage of years, his servants expanded the castle to cover all the hill, and it grew with new constructions until it towered into the air. It became Barad-dûr, the Dark Tower, and reached so high that only Sauron's magic could keep it aloft. But the tower didn't only reach skyward. Beneath Barad-dûr, the orcs delved fathomless dungeons for their master, until the arid Luthil was riddled with pits and chasms. When the tower fell, the land gave way and a great abyss opened where Barad-dûr once stood. Sauron's dungeons were exposed to the sky, the abyss of Morgoth. Knowledge can be frightening. Anyway, Sauron may be gone, but he dwelt at Barad-dûr for so long that the land has not forgotten him. It sounds to me as if he left his impression on the abyss and the lands around it. You should find Mithrandir and tell him this, and I think that it's time that I return to the houses of Lore. I'm not afraid of danger, in moderation, but this is more than moderately terrifying. Well, Rogrin to his senses and Covendale? Wow! That's a twofer! Well, I'll see you back at Mithrandir in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.